Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live. James Tarkowski signed a new deal yesterday.
I believe so.
And now there's reports that Pickford, Mykolenko and James Garner will follow. Because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? How important is it that Everton get these three titles? Well, I mean, two of them are out of contract, aren't they, in the summer? So it's quite important.
That's important.
And then obviously Jordan has already hinted that he's ready to sign a new contract anyway. So is this just further evidence that Everton are going in the right direction? That they're dealing with this stuff earlier? Because we've just seen how mad the summer was when players were running out of contract and people seemingly didn't know whether they were staying or going. Yeah. So is this a little bit of evidence that everything else is ticking along?
Yeah, and I think you've got to get it. Yeah, you got everything just getting house in order, isn't it? Can't have a situation like last summer again, the way that all veered together, because you can't be replacing players in that fashion. You can't replace players who need replacing, if that makes sense. You need to have control of the situation. Yeah. If a player is leaving, it has to be because you want him to leave. And if a player's leaving, he has to be for there has to be a financial element to it. So you don't let Mykolenko leave because you don't like Mykolenko. You like Mykolenko leave and you earn financially out of it. You know, and that's, or with any of those players. So we have to not have a situation where that can happen again. So, because imagine the alternative, having to replace the players you've just let go for free, and then that's when you start your next rebuild. It can't be like that. It shouldn't have got to that point. What it did in the summer, in many ways, I know a lot of people believe, it could turn out to be such a really good thing for us. Yeah. But no, you can't. You always have to have control of your players. And you've got to keep your players happy as well. If players are in the last year and they start wondering, am I liked, am I wanted? No, just get it sorted. Get it sorted. And if you get a year out of them and then you decide you want to replace them, then fine, you can sell them. Yeah. It was just too much, wasn't it, in the summer? It was an opportunity, of course, to turn the squad around, which Everton took and have done. But it is a little bit too much, and you're always better being ahead of this anyway, aren't you? And listen, I don't think there's any massive rush to replace Mykolenko. Mykolenko's a very good defender. What you want to bring in, or you want Asni to develop in, is a very good attacking fullback, because that's what we're seeing where we think Everton need to improve, is that area. And if Asni really is the future, listen, I've got zero evidence that is the case. Yeah. If he is the future, and it's going to take him time, then you need someone in front of him who's obviously is going to be there, who's you're confident in week in and week out. And with Mykolenko, you get that for the most part. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But not there's never going to be a perfect solution whilst you're still like a mid-table team. Which is what we are at the moment. To kick on, you have to have those other players, of course, but you have to also have those squad players. You have to have. But I think there's a couple of things like with Everton where, look, put it this way, right? We've got can't stress this enough. We've got two players sitting on our bench that really should have been offloaded in the summer. But the reason they weren't offloaded in the summer is because we were trying to replace the players who had left. So we weren't. There wasn't too much. There was only a couple of players who were like on top of that. A Grealish, a Dewsbury Hall, let's say, even though he's sort of like the core age replacement. A couple of those players, and Nathan Patterson had a couple of opportunities to leave and couldn't leave. Now it's football, but I do feel bad for him because he knows he's not wanted by this manager. And he sits on the bench every game knowing that. Yeah. He goes training every day, I imagine. But it's a World Cup year again. And this lad had maybe had an opportunity and he's going to miss out. He missed out on the Euros through an injury. And he's, whether Scotland qualify or not, I don't know. But he's missing out on playing for Scotland now. So at least he used to have that. And now he has nothing. Now he's sitting on the bench and he's getting older all the time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like sitting here going, I feel that he put himself in that position by not improving. But then you could say that was down to injuries, or you could say it was down to the last manager. Whatever you believe. But he's sitting on that bench and he's never going to get a game. And it's not fair in many ways. But also the manager couldn't go, I'll let you go, mate. Because
of course.
You're dead sound. And then
I think Everton, if I'm Everton, I'd say Wanlu, who the Sevilla right back who was going to Napoli in the summer, who's a very attacking fullback. They're not bothered about him leaving.
Yeah.
And they wanted Patterson. That's where Patterson was going.
Yeah, and that might happen.
And Everton, I'm just wondering if Everton could look at him and go, well, he's like the kind of fullback we want.
We linked with him last week, James. Yeah. We did on the news.
So I don't know whether... We were linked with him in the summer, but I don't know whether Everton would think like that. But he would certainly be a big upgrade on Jake O'Brien simply because he plays that position and is an attacking fullback. And Patterson would get his move away from the football club.
I mean, something like that could happen. But just for this point, I'm just saying that him and McNeil are sitting there, and arguably they should have left the club in the summer, but they're not. They haven't left the club in the summer because the squad is small, and we had 2 goalkeepers at the weekend, and we started the season with 2 goalkeepers and a couple of kids who were no longer at the football club.
Yeah.
So the squad isn't big. So we can't just let them go, because if we got to November and December when we're losing players for the AFCON, and we were sure, the fans would be, and rightly would say, what on earth have you done? How have you left us short? Or why didn't you bring players in? So the club have protected themselves by keeping the players, but that doesn't mean they're going to get any game time. They might become players who... McNeil might become a player who comes off the bench come December when we lose Njai and... say Diblin's playing or whatever it is. McNeil might become... He'll obviously step up one, won't he? Because there won't be another... there won't be that winger there. So we can't be left short. That's a professional thing. But if we hadn't lost so many players in the summer due to being out of contract, I'm sure those 2 players would have left the football club because we would have brought in replacements. So, long story... that shows you where you've just got to protect yourself, and the players come second in that, don't they? If a player's happy to sign an agreement, that's the same with Mykolenko. You can't go, we don't think Mykolenko's very good, so let's just let him go. Number one, he's an asset. You should never let any player run down a contract ever. No. Like, that should never happen.
Bad business. Yeah.
It's bad. It is bad business, isn't it? And obviously some players intentionally do it, and it's, we saw the drama was caused last season over the road. One leaves, the other two took them to town. Let's be honest. They've taken that club to town because they used it to their advantage, being in that last year. The fella they don't even like playing centre backs going to Real Madrid at the end of the season by it, apparently. You can't let them go into a final year. You just can't. We've got to get on top of it now, and that's really important. That's really important now. So let's get it done and dusted, especially the Pickford one. Pickford one's really important. We just had a conversation. We just did the 1878. That's why we were a little bit late. We had a conversation about Grealish in that, about the finding happiness of just finding happiness in football, and that's what Jordan Pickford seems to have. Is you find that happiness. You don't need to supplement that with winning trophies, essentially. So if that's where he is, you give him the contract. You say you are loved here. Forget about all the other nonsense that goes on elsewhere. You are loved at this football club, and we want to make sure that you spend the rest of your career at this football club, and hopefully that's what he wants, and we get that sorted, and then Jordan Pickford will start to get maybe outside the recognition that he gets on the inside of. He'll have been here over 10 years, and he'll such a servant to Everton Football Club, and hopefully becomes a player that literally spends the whole tenure of his career being the number one. That very rarely happens. That very rarely happens, where you're just like the whole thing, but then you can start to plan out life after as well. So let's just get the play. James Garner's in good place right now. Let's get that sorted. Because again, these are players that have elevated themselves to at least fighting for the first team And then we improve on that, don't we? We improve on those players, and then everyone's fighting.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I do think it's evidence that the club's in I know a lot of people would say it's stating the bleeding obvious, but the club is quite clearly in a much, much better football place now itself, and a much better financial place, and you can get ahead of these. And then you're absolutely right, you shouldn't be in a position where players are running down their contracts.
No.
So you should be looking, if it gets to the situation where they've got a year left, you need to be making the decision coming into the end of that season on a player. If he's only got a year left, you should actively be trying to sell him in that summer, even if you only get a few million for him, so that it's still on the balance sheet. No one should be walking out the door. If you added up the money that Everton have spent in the last 10 years on footballers who then walked out the door for nothing, it'd be eye-watering amount, really.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
It'd show you what the damage that has been done to the football club. You know, people like, I loved Yerry Mina, but we paid 27 million for him. Cenk Tosun. I mean, at least Yerry gave us something, but even so, we went for nothing. Cenk Tosun, 30 million, 28 million, nothing. Andre Gomez, 22 million, nothing. Walcott, 20 million, nothing. They just off the top of my head. You know.
And even someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you've put time and effort into.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we should have got money, and I know, but we should have said to Dom, when the Newcastle move didn't go through, we're giving you a month to sign a contract, and then you are available to leave. And we're going to say, because they do, we're going to let it be known that we're accepting £10 million for you or £15 million for you, whatever. And I know some clubs will go, well, he was worth more to stay, but it still doesn't look good, does it? So I think you've always got to try to get ahead. Some players, you can't force out either, and it'll happen. The odd one will happen, but normally it's the ones who are really, really good, and they decide their fate.
But they've got the power, haven't they?
And they've got said about Trent Alexander.
None of the players we've really got have got the power, and the only people, the only people who should be leaving on a free transfer is sort of people won't even remember this, right? But like older viewers will remember this. But like when we were younger, because this was before Bosman, players didn't leave on free transfers because the rules were, even if you were out of contract, you were still in contract with the football club. It was people talk about the Bosman. The Bosman is the most sensible thing that anyone ever did. It was so mad. So a club,
in a way, but it ruined.
No, I mean it is. It is
football because it.
I don't think it didn't ruin football. It didn't ruin football. It's the most sensible thing that it
drove up wages to an astronomical level, which would.
I know, but football clubs could hold you to at the football club even though you didn't have a contract.
No,
that's literally against your human rights.
No, aspects of it were bad, but aspects of the Bosman were bad as well.
Anyway.
But that's why do you think football's the way it is now?
No, I know that.
As a result of it.
I know, but you can't hold people if there's no contracts.
But it's
So anyway, people used to be held at football clubs even if they didn't have contracts, and that's what the Bosman rule ripped up. It went against human rights. So essentially, if you were a great servant, a football club would say, "You've been amazing. Here's a free transfer. Go and
there was a handshake.
Go out and go and play for someone else because you've been an amazing servant for this football club." So it didn't even matter. Sometimes it happened when you had a contract. Sometimes it happened when you didn't have a contract. And so it used to be a sign of goodwill from the football club. Your golden handshake to leave the football club.
But you'd always get a nominal fee for players who were coming out of contract. It was no one was ever kept under crazy. Certainly at Everton, no players.
Bosman was.
That was one example, wasn't it? And he done brilliantly to change, but I still think that it caused problems as well. But on a basic level, yeah, he was right to do that, because how can you say you're not allowed to go and kick a ball somewhere else? Makes no sense. But I've seen that with kids. It's happened with kids. The clubs have refused.
You keep kids under contract?
It's happened with some kids where they're signing a thingy. And some clubs have had them sign a registration and you won't release it and you have to pay or whatever. But anyway, that's a different thing. But it's important for us that we get these players and always try to stay ahead of the game. And then that way, you're always making money. On your balance sheet, it's not killing you. So if you get to a year out and you go, look, we're letting you go. You're available for, I don't know, whatever.
I think
5-6 million.
That's where the football club will be now, won't they? Where me spoon said Sigurdsson, Balassi, Gabaman, Besic, Delph, Snidlin, Klassen.
Yeah, see, all of that stuff, which when you just add all of those.
So but you're right. You've got to be in a position as a football club to do what like Brentford did to Ivan Toney, which is to say, we've got players. You're not the most important player at this football club. Yep. We can cope without you. We've got the means to cope without you, or you've already got the backup players to cope without you. You've got to be in that position, of course you have, and that's where any club should be in that position to cope. Where you get to that summer before, and they just go, listen, if you don't sign a contract, we are selling you this season, or we are burning you down. No, you know what I mean? It's like, you will sit on that bench. Don't mess with us. We'll push this all the way. And it ain't going to be like when the window shuts, you're going to get back in the team. No, you're not getting back in the team. And that has to be... I think
you just need everyone to come to a conclusion very quickly and don't drag it out either way, and that be the club or the player. I think that's the best way for it to be. So, like Dom, as far as I'm concerned, when the Newcastle thing fell through, he just strung Everton along, and Everton handled it terrible. I think Sean Dyche handled terrible.
I just think it was a circumstance of the time.
But we should have forced that, and Kevin Delwell allowed them to do it as well. Him and Dyche had a nightmare on that one, the pair of them. He should have been told, you ain't playing for us, mate. You're going, and got money in and replaced them. But that can't happen. It happens every bit. Alexander Arnold done it to them, but Alexander Arnold was a top level. He was still, and they're missing him this season. He was performing, so it is easier for them, for the players. Sorry, it's more difficult for the club to do that. But we just got to make sure we get to a conclusion and be honest with players as well, because you just talk about Patterson there. David Moyes maybe should have been a bit more honest with them and
maybe
said,
he was honest,
or maybe he was honest and
maybe he was honest
get
with
out.
them. Maybe he was honest with them and said, "You're not playing for my team." He gave him chances in the summer. He didn't take them again.
He was injured as well, wasn't he? But I think if Everton would have got a bid for a money offer for McNeil and a money offer for Patterson, they'd have sold them. But the problem was they only got loan offers for both of them, so he was never going to let them go. Maybe it's all about
bad timing, wasn't it? Patterson picking up that injury was bad timing because it's prevented him. It did like cover the transfer window. McNeil didn't get. I'm sure McNeil and his people were made aware that what the circumstances were going to be this summer. He played a lot of games. He played pre-season, but then the replacements came, and that was the end. That's he's been shut down. I don't know why he played. My only issue about the Wolves game really was he played, because I just don't see any sense.
I don't know why Seamus played left back either.
No, I mean that's
to me is mad as well.
But I just didn't see how a player that's got no future at this football club played. I just found that mad. I found that really, really strange.
But if we get these three tied down, then that cuts that off. Tarky was yesterday, and then you start staying ahead of the curve. Then
I think the next one after that probably is Patterson 2027.
And Michael Keane be 20. You got
one
plus one.
Yeah, you've got Garner and you've got Keane who you're dealing with one by one, aren't you?
But the others, got to try to stay ahead. But that again, that's further evidence. I think the club is coming out of it. A few people here saying they'd let Mykolenko leave for nothing.
No, it's just
like he's not good enough. But Mykolenko's a good left back. He's not. For Everton to go higher up the league regularly, I agree. And we saw evidence of, even though I'm not a lover of Mitchell, I think he does get up and down really well for Palace at the weekend. Yeah. And Munoz on the other side. In a 4, I don't think Tyrick Mitchell's great, to be fair to him. But you've seen what evidence the fullbacks that can get up and take the team.
Just on Mykolenko, right?
Miko's a good defender.
Forget about whether he's a good defender or not, right? So, if you bought a car and you just I like this car, but you know what, I fancy another car. You wouldn't give your car away, would you? You wouldn't go, yeah, I want a new car, so someone can have my car now. Just it can go for nothing. You'd sell your car, and it's the same with Mykolenko. You wouldn't. Why would we spend money on him, and we've invested money into him, and we've made him a better player? Why would we let him out? Why would we let him out for free? It doesn't make any sense. You give him a contract, and then in a year's time, if you've bought another player and you've got Adam Asnu or whatever, then you sell that player. But come on. Doesn't matter who these people are. No player should be walking out the door for free unless they are 39. Let's be honest. Nobody should be leaving the football club for free. No football club is in a position. Think about just PSR. No club is in a position to just go, here you go, mate. Oh, look, there's a 25, 26-year-old fullback, international. Do you want him for nothing? Come on, use your brains. You do not give anything away for free, especially in PSR era.
We had Gabaman as well, didn't we? Injury killed him.
Did we have Gabaman?
Well, injury killed him, didn't it? But in general, it's true, there was too many of them. And when you look at just the basic balance sheet and go, there's £150 million you outlaid. Forget about the wages for now. But there's £150 million, say, that you spent on footballers in 10 years, and you got zero back for all of those players. That, in any level, is really bad business, isn't it? And when you just think, if we'd have got even half the money back for them, we'd have been in a better place from a business perspective anyway. So that's what we've got to do now. And again, that's where.
So if we give Mykolenko, right, a 20 grand bump, right, 20 grand bump, and he stays for, let's say, 1 extra year, that's like £1 million, isn't it? That's like £1 million or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So.
No, but the thing with Miko is,
and when we sell him for 25 million quid.
Yeah, that's it.
So
I was going to say, the thing for me with Mykolenko is he is a good defender, and when you go and play at the likes of Anfield and he's up against Salah, who's a tremendous footballer, he generally does quite well against them. He doesn't really get ripped by anyone. His limitations are at the other end of the pitch. The other thing with Miko is if you ever went to a back three or if you ever needed an emergency centre-back, he could play there as a left-footed centre-back. He's not great in the air, but then...
Me and James were talking about this the other day, about saying there could be an opportunity to move him to left centre-back if we don't have the balance and put a left-back there. He could become a left-sided centre-back. That's where he could...
play for Ukraine, I know, and he played for Kiev there sparingly, but he did play there.
You know what, isn't it strange? Because we're sort of used to seeing right-backs become centre-backs. Like that's... But left-backs, I don't know if it ever happens. I mean, obviously Lescott did that for us, but it was more like he was a...
Well, Dan Burn, who I know you love.
Oh, he's one of my favourites.
Dan Burn was a centre-back, wasn't he? Essentially. Then played left-back for Newcastle for a while, and then they've put him back in at a centre-back, and he's played for England, both, I think. I think he's done both jobs for England, left-back and centre-back.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But... what I'm just saying, though, he's done the job, hasn't he? Now, I don't think anyone's advocating Mykolenko becomes Brantwaite's replacement or whatever, but who knows? You just don't know. And he's an international footballer, and I think he's 25, 26. He's a good age. Yeah. So therefore, of course you keep him, because it's that thing again. I just find sometimes, and don't get me wrong, it's a handful of people who say it, we almost want to just get people out, just get rid of them, and you go, hang on, there's no transition. Yeah. It's the same with Tarkowski, you see it all the time. Just get rid of him and put someone else there. And it's like, no, he's key to our defence right now. Now, hopefully, Tarky, like you said yesterday, Jake O'Brien grabs that position in the future and goes, that's me, I'm 25, I'm massive, I'm playing
the
there.
One.
And it turns.
Do you know what the number one is? Adissa Garner game.
Yeah.
Adissa Garner, I still hear it now. I hear it now. Shouldn't be anywhere near our team. You're like, what are you talking about?
He's the best midfielder we've got.
Nobody else does what he does. And is he getting a little bit more slower? Yes. Is he going to get a touch sloppier? Maybe. But also, we don't have another player like him, and we haven't seen enough of like Meal and Roll because he's physical. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to say one thing about Adissa Garner Gay, I tell you what, physically, he's somehow managed to cope fantastically well with the Premier League for the entire time he's been here.
On Sunday, they had a break in a few minutes after we'd scored, Grealish had scored, the break-in, and he just steamed across and took the ball off them and turned it into an attack. Yeah. No one else was there. James Garner, James Garner's been brilliant, but James Garner was nowhere near it. But Alcaraz was nowhere near it.
Yeah. But the point being is, until somebody is knocking on the door and taking that place off him, then he stays in the team. There's always been this, I think this is a football fan thing, it's like a reaction to
like... not just Everton.
No, it's a football fan. You sign a player, that player must go in the team. Say it at the beginning of the season with Dibbling. 40 million, can't be sitting on the bench. Why?
Two of my mates who were of the other persuasion Yeah, question me all you want, but but they were telling me, and to be fair, it was backed up by a couple of these, but telling me how they couldn't wait to get rid of Luis Diaz. No, he's crap, mate. You know, if you watch him,
no, I heard this on the radio.
And I was like, it's not crap in the slight. This was me, like, sort of April. I was like, the amount of goals he gets for you from nowhere or creates something, I was like, he's really got no. We can.
Is that how they talk? No.
Like that. You know, trying to shout you down, and then now I'm hearing probably missing Diaz. You know, and I told you, I don't even watch it.
It fell on the way.
Good footballers are good footballers.
And but it's not about. It's about transition, isn't it? It is about transition. It's like Adrissa probably needs to play less games, but then that means someone's going to have to take the place. Tarky probably needs to play less games, but somebody has to take the place off him. And that's what we're saying. It's like, you can't just go, it's not a kettle that just suddenly stops working and you buy another kettle. You look at the attributes and go, do any other players in our squad have what it takes? Well, we've not seen Mail and Roll yet because he come in, and the first thing, this is my worry with, like, don't get me wrong, don't watch loads of, but look at German football and look how slight some of the players are. They're so, like, skinny, some of them. They don't have that, like, they don't have that machine look that you have, like, Bayern do, and that's why they're so good, because you see that they have that, like,
look at Goretzka.
They have, like, the Real Madrid doctor, don't they? They have that kind of, but the rest don't.
They work on the body.
They look so skinny, and he come in, he's looked a little bit skinny, and they'll take it. This is just like, is a machine, and someone's got to take that place off him, or whatever, and have to make a decision at some point to say, we are buying a direct replacement, which isn't easy, and that's the same for everyone. The manager's talking about Asnu, saying he's not ready, he's not going to be ready, and he knows he's got a reliable left back with Mykolenko. Why would you just chuck that away? You wait to see whether Asnu can, make that decision and can get up to that level of consistency. It took Mykolenko ages because he was the only left back we had, and he played every week. And some games, let's not forget, wasn't great. But because he was playing, Patterson missed out on that development time because they didn't think he was good enough. So
he got injured as well. Whenever Patterson looked,
of course, he got injured.
No, I'm saying, but whenever he was making a run for it. Don't forget, he got injured in his first season when he was about to play at West Ham the next day. He got injured the day before and was out for the season, which wasn't great. Then he started the next season under Lampard brilliantly. Everyone was going, this kid, oh my God, he's brilliant. And then he got injured.
Got injured for Scotland.
And then he was out for months. And then he come back and Brighton, he got roasted in that game against Brighton with Toma. And then people started to question, then he got injured. So every time he got a little bit of a run, he got injured.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't treated well, and he hasn't done things himself as good as he possibly could have done. I don't know. I'm not in Finch Farm. I couldn't tell you. But he's not really been able to convince Sean Dyche he was worth a run, and he's not been able to convince David Moyes he's worth a run. So some of that'll be on him, and some of that'll be on poor development from Everton's side of it. The same with others. But players who've been able to get in, the manager is the best player. We all have opinions, of course we do. We're here talking now, having opinions, aren't we? We'll all see players, but I just think sometimes you're in a rush. It's like, I see things like Dibling's got to play. I'm like, why has Dibbling got to play? I watched him on Sunday. He didn't look to me like he has to play. He looked like he's way off it. And I know he's a good footballer because I watched him last season. So he's got to get himself to a level where the manager goes, you do have to play.
And that's where the manager, I think, listening to his press conferences is really interesting, because he's taking a really, like, pragmatic approach to it when he's talking about patience. He's like, for these players, like, you can question maybe the decision, or whatever decision you want to make, whether we should have gone and got another centre forward or another left back as well to go with these players,
or another right winger,
or whatever. Who
could run?
You can make those question marks, but you can make those questions. But what you've got to say is, and what he's saying is, the players that we have bought, which is the real world, will take time. You can't change what we've done. This is what we've done. You can ask questions about whether we should have done it, but these players will take time. And he's like, I'm in no hurry, because actually the players I've got in those positions are quite steady. Njai on the right, Mykolenko on the left. Okay, the centre forward one that's the big one, isn't it? Where you go, they keep swapping him. But he's sort of made that decision, and whether he spoke to the players about it, where it's like, I'll just swap yous. I'll just swap you. One of you needs to grab hold of it.
The centre forward.
Yeah. I'll just swap you, and one of you needs to grab it, and it's on you. I'll give you both chances, but one of you has got to grab that chance.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We all want the same thing, don't we? And we'll all have different ideas of how that becomes the same thing. But we all want Everton winning football matches, don't we? That's what we want. We all want to watch brilliant footballers. We all want to love our football players, don't we? As a fan, that's it, isn't it? You want to love your team, like your manager. You want to watch your team win, and you want to score great goals. And we all have a slightly different view on how we achieve that thing. But ultimately, we all want the same thing. So we'll all see different ways. I just think sometimes people want to throw away the stuff that's getting you to where you want to go because it can't come quickly enough. And it won't come quickly enough for us. I say this all the time. Every year that goes by that we don't win something or don't do something, that coil spring gets tighter and people are ready to go at the drop of a thing. But we've just been talking to Paul from the Redmen and talking about Liverpool's problems. They've lost 3 games in a week. The problems, the champions, the league champions, the problems that they've got, and the words are falling off and you're like, I said to him, you wouldn't fucking last as an Everton fan. You just would not last, right? So that's what football fans are like. But we're building something. We're 8th in the league at the moment. We're in the title race right now.
Yeah,
you can't be ruled out of it, but only 5 points off the top. And therefore, where we are, we're doing okay. It's not perfect, far from it. And I think we should have 4 points more than we've got. But that's football. We'll see where we go. But we can't throw everything out. And Idrissa Gana Gay's performances mean he has to play. He's one of Everton's best players every time he gets onto a pitch. Mykolenko's quite solid. James Garner's been really good this season. So when we're talking about renewing, does Jordan Pickford make errors as a goalie, or is there moments he could do better? 100%. There's also moments he makes unbelievable saves, and his character's tremendous. But everyone makes mistakes, don't they? Football isn't perfect; it's far from it. So we've got to let the process go. The centre forward thing's an issue at the minute, but we can't be a fan base that. Also, I can only speak for myself here. I can't be an Evertonian who watches a lot of other football as well and goes, Everton, does he work with Everton? Would he be good for Everton? See him in another league and think he'd actually be a clever signing, and then be fuming because he's taking his time to develop, because he's not ready to, or he's not hit the ground run. Do you know what I mean? We can't be both things. We can't be going, we should be buying these young, exciting players and then moaning when we buy a young, exciting player and he doesn't perform. You know, I was on the overlap on Monday, as a lot of you know. I heard Florian Wirtz getting free passes and other ones. And I'm not saying he shouldn't, by the way. But you can't go, well, he's a 22-year-old lad coming into a league and it's going to take him months to settle in, and yet killing our centre forward because he's had 3 games and isn't doing well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, is that a thing? If you've got proven ex-Premier League footballers saying it does take time to settle in, we can't, as fans, say that's nonsense.
I think if we can just keep the level we've been keeping so far this season, and it becomes quite evident quite quickly that of sort of where we're going to finish, then I think a lot of that hopefully will go away. I said this the other day. Has been an element of looking over our shoulder, getting rid of that, getting rid of that. Like, can you feel safe? Yeah. You know, and it's.
I think you're right.
And I think if we get to, like, if we keep hitting the marks we have been hitting in terms of points, people will feel a little bit calmer and won't start to maybe focus as much on those individuals, because actually time will be good for those people. And you'll look at it a little bit, you know, we're all in that mentality of like, gotta make sure we're all right every game, where you just, you know, listen, I preferred football when it wasn't life and death every single game, with everything. And I preferred it when it was like, today will be a 2-0. No worries, we'll get one in the first half, get it in the second half. Just doesn't exist anymore. We know that the teams are far too good now for that.
And know all the ones who aren't at your level know everything about you and therefore can combat stuff.
And also every team now has a sense of, we can get back into a game as well, even if you're like 2-0 down. 2-0 down used to be, we're done, lads. Let's just play the game and go home. Whereas now there's still that feeling we could still get something from this, because we've got 5 subs and it could change very quickly. And it could change very quickly. So I think if we can just keep doing what we're doing over the next couple of months and keep the rate of points going, then everyone will go, yeah, he's taking time, but we've got time. And I think that having that sense of we've got time is.
Isn't that what David Moyes is trying to do? Isn't he trying to get, whether you like David Moyes or you don't, isn't he trying to get to sort of a level where we know, because he had this when he was in the first spell. We were never in any danger ever. It was about how high we could get. So therefore everything below it, you're never going to ever go the game and not be worried about the result.
No.
Because there's always going to be something on it. But you want the something on it to be, how high can we finish? You don't want it to be, oh my God, the promoted team just got a last-minute winner and you tear it. Because I'll be honest, full disclosure, I was made up when Spurs won on Saturday. Honestly, right? And you see Sunderland lose because you want to keep that buffer going. When Brighton equalised late on against Wolves, I was like, I'm all right with that. You know what I mean? And that's wrong.
That's why our friend got a little bit angry with me because of that. But I was listening to James this week on another show, which will be available. And he was talking about, like, because again, it was that thing of like, Dice used to always talk us down, and it'd be like, and he used to say that, we're in a fight, we're in a relegation fight, blah, blah, blah. Where Moyes come in and he's like, this is crap. We want players, we want to be in Europe, we want to be this good. And then, again, other people have said, he shouldn't have done that. He set a bar too high. And it's like, well, that's a bar he's trying to get to at least. And he's trying to drag everyone else with him. And at least now he's saying, it's going to be difficult to get there, but that's where I want to go. It's better than sitting there week in and week out, having the fella who's supposed to be in charge and in control of the situation saying to you, well, because number one, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that voice. You know what I mean? If I want to hear that voice, I'd watch Sesame Street. I want to hear the manager go, yeah, we're all right. Fine. He's had 45 minutes, and he'll get 45 minutes another game, or he'll get half an hour another game, blah, 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 whatever. I just you want to have that thing of like,
What do you think with the setting the Europe targets? Because I'll be honest, I know one of our mates doesn't quite like that thing, but
it's because he's negative.
Me personally, I want Everton to win the league. And I think Everton's aim should be to win the league. Now, that doesn't mean I believe Everton can win the league, because they're way off it. But I want to aim for that. I don't want, my targets ain't going to be, if we get 15th, it's a good season. This is Everton Football Club, and we have to build Everton so that means something. To be like, we can aim, if you aim high, and this was Neville Southall's thing, wasn't it? He got shot down sometimes, but he's right in this aspect. If you aim high and can get players you believe can hit those heights, at least if you fall a little bit short, you're nowhere near all of the other crap.
And by the way, Nev was talking about Moyes just as much as you talking about anyone, wasn't he?
Of course, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, if you aim high and then you fall a bit short, you're still miles better off than going, well, if we get 15th this season and then you fall short, you're in big trouble.
I think Europe is the most sort of like, now is the gauge, isn't it? Because the Premier League is so intense. But if we can get Europe, that's the springboard, isn't it? That's the springboard. Might be the shortcut. If you can get, teams will look at it now. I think there used to be, I think we talked about the other week, like, the Conference League is there to be won if you're a Premier League team. Absolutely. But I also think the Europa League's there to, I think the strength of the Premier League now is so strong. And the way they've expanded the Champions League means and the teams don't drop into the Europa League. Is you look at that Europa League now, and I just think that's there for the taking.
Look at that final last year, Tottenham and United.
You look at it, it was terrible. Two terrible teams. you know, when you look at it and go, there's your pathway to the Champions League, and if you can get that Champions League money, I'm not saying it's going to win you the league, but it puts you in the conversation for the bigger and better players. And I think that's what Premier League teams are looking at now, going the route.
Do you remember when we used to do videos in like 2017, 18, whatever, and we talk about getting, and people would say, I don't want to get in the Europa League.
Every year we'd make a video going, do we need Europe?
No, but people would go, no, if we don't get a Champions League, don't want to be in Europe. And it was like, hang on, so we either have to finish 4th or we finish 9th.
Yeah.
And if we finish 9th, your head would fall off. Mate. So, and
give me Eastern Europe on a Thursday.
Yeah,
come on. Come on.
And I imagine most of our audience here are like, just get us in the Conference League. Because it is all building blocks, isn't it? It's steps. And look, Palace might find the Sunday after the Thursday, they struggle a little bit. You know, they play Thursday,
but also though,
they might not.
Yeah, also though, they might, managers who understand it and will go, I'm trying, when he won it, it wasn't this format, was it? So when he won it, it was a different format. Yeah. Palace and some, but also Moyes. So it was a little bit different then. Now you've got like 8 games. So now you can basically go, yeah, I'll just play a strong team at home. Or you just look at the fixtures and go, playing there, I'll prioritise there and there. Because you win, if you win 4 home games or 3 home games, you're through. And they've already won an away game. So if they win 3 home games, they're through. I remember when United won it with Mourinho, and the group stage, he was just like, the away games were always crap. And he just went, I don't need to win them. I just need to win. And also the away games, I can just play all the kids that are going to be the next generation. Yeah. You've got to just know out your way round. It's the same with the Champions League now, isn't it? It's just like, Liverpool, okay, they lost last week, but they've been looking at the goals. Who cares? Who really, and they'll go, let's start.
They'd have been in a bit more of a tricky, even though they still would have got through comfortably, but they'd have been a bit trickier if they wouldn't have got the injury time winner.
I think in the Champions League, I think what teams will probably do is, or even if you're in, and Moyes used to do this when we got Europa League, was you want to get off to a brilliant start. So actually when those games come in December and you've got a big fixture, you can just rest everyone. Yeah. You can just rest everyone. Get beat because of matter you through. And that's what Liverpool did last year, wasn't it? And, And they by the time they qualified, it didn't really matter, and they could lose games. Ironically, they lost a game to PSV, wasn't it?
3-2.
And it ended up being dead. It actually
ended up being important.
Important because So it's how you get there. So we just need to. We have to aim. I want to hear as a club striving, having that mentality, because then you've got that mentality on your shoulders. You haven't got a manager going, well, if we finished 16th, it's good. But if we finish 14th, then that makes me a miracle worker. You want a manager who's like, nah, if we finish in the top half, that's And if we finish in Europe, that's where we should be. And we get a Champions League, I'm a miracle worker. Really? That's what we should be doing.
Yeah. I just don't think you can aim high enough, personally. Yeah. I know there's got to be an element of reality with it, but I still think, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Because you're more likely to get closer to your goal than if you go 15th, 16th, I'm amazing. But that's what you do. But again, those targets can be there. Every game is the one, though. All right, going well, we win them games with 3. You still got to go and perform in your next game, and it's about changing everyone's perception, us included. We've had to fight and scrap as a fan base to keep the club afloat. I've said that before, and some people liked it, some people didn't like me saying it, but it was real. The fans were key, and the key in driving the club forward. Because if we don't hold the club accountable as a fan base for things, then standards will slip. Because with all due respect to the people inside the club, new ones coming in will have seen Everton struggle. People who've been there before have known the struggle. So you've got to keep refreshing that thing for them of just how big a football club we are. You've got to keep reiterating it so that everyone has those standards to. And I think they are doing that, and I think the club is doing that, and Moyes doing it. But if we get ourselves aim for Europe and we finished 9th, 10th. But we've had no danger. We've won good games. We've played some good footy. Then that's way better than anything we've had for a few years. Way better than the stress and the struggles. So that's where we've got to aim. We know what we have to improve, and we're on a much stronger financial footing, which is why we've got to get those players tied down to contracts so we are in control of the situation rather than being at the players' behest of what happens. Rich says decent business to tie these 3 lads down. Hope you well. Gary Ward says Pickford's arguably our MVP. Garner's having a great season so far, and Miko is a solid performer. Sign them all up. Yeah. And Rich also says, is this us planning for the future? How refreshing.
Exactly.
Well, it is, isn't it? Think of when you go through everything that we've gone through in the last 3 or 4 years, it's been terrible.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? You put COVID and then everything that happened to Everton up until the moment Moyes took over, that's been 4 bad years.
Terrible,
bad years, really, hasn't it? Terrible. Carlo leaving and everything. It's been really, really stressful for Evertonians. So we can't jump to the top of the pile from nowhere. We've got to start, and we do have to have a little bit of perspective with it. Absolutely, but doesn't mean you should dumb down what your aims are for the club, though.
We've got adults now, haven't we? We've got adults in the room. The voice. We've only got like very, very singular voices as well. We haven't got, we've got a chief executive and a manager, and bar that, there's very little else in terms of like communication. Again, I'm not really that fussed if the owner says anything or doesn't say anything. I'd like to see him at a game once in a while, but I'm not really that fussed.
I still think he should do a little 15-minute interview about his aims, and then that's it. He doesn't have to do it again. I just think but like you said, only because he's the chairman.
I just don't care. I think just because there's been so much noise, and I love Jim. It's just, you know what I mean. It's like it doesn't bother me.
No,
it's like
it's fine.
Angus. I'd rather have. If Angus is going to tell everybody the thoughts on our couch, then I'm all day for that.
Yeah, fair play.
So that makes more sense. And obviously now more people that are in leadership positions have come in. Then there's going to be a lot more joined up thinking, I think. So I think the grown ups are in charge now, aren't they? And that's it.
Yeah. It's no like burning thing, of course. Bill wants me to clear something up. Why a defender should not attempt to head the ball 3 yards out from under his crossbar. Well, I'll just do it dead quick for you, mate. If I whack a ball across and you stick your head out, ball physics says it's going to fly at your own goal and go in. So I don't understand why people think they can do it and they're going to clear it.
Oh, is this Michael Keane?
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I'd rather have the butt plug conversation than have this conversation.
No, well, Phil's asked me questions, so I'm just answering them. So, I wouldn't be encouraging my defender to stick the head on a fizzed shot cross underneath their own crossbar. I'd let me goalkeeper. If they take a position behind the goalkeeper, by all means, throw anything at it to try to keep it out, but not when your keeper's got a clear line of sight. So we hope that clears it up for you, Phil. I thought it was quite self-explanatory, personally, but there you go. Josh says, afternoon, guys. Given how late the kick-off times are for next year's World Cup, are you going to be, and will you be still doing the legendary watch-alongs?
Listen,
of course we will.
I'm sure there'll be some watch-alongs along the way. Can't be all of them. We're never going to get that joy of that 4-day watch-along, 4-match watch-along where we started at 10 o'clock and went all the way through.
Who says we won't?
Yeah, but I don't think they're starting at 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, but if they started at like, I don't know, 4 in the afternoon, he went through till 1 in the morning. Yeah, we'd do the odd one of them. We just a marathon watch-along. Who knows? But we'll definitely be doing some. Definitely. Only if the song's as good as it was, though.
Just bring it back.
Why wouldn't you bring it back? It says everything, doesn't it?
We could get James and Charlotte to like do it almost like Jason and Kylie, like a duet.
The World Cup, singing it like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what can Charlotte sing.
She doesn't know what Jason and Kylie is. Every day, one of them.
Kylie and Jason, maybe if you say it like that.
Every day.
School day. Fair play.
Every day. And it's not Kylie and Jason, Kelsey.
No.
That's a modern reference, isn't it? I mean, every day we have to school these young kids who obviously didn't do history in school.
Blue Jay says, quite refreshing to see these things being dealt with early. It can allow the recruitment team to focus on signing new players to further improve us and not just keeping the players we currently have here for longer. Do you think you'll see more of that? Do you think you'll see more decisions on, like, he's not really in our plans even though he's got a contract and therefore we're going to try to get him out and get others in, rather than going, we haven't really got the plan on horizon. We were in the room with Kevin Thelwell when he told us that they couldn't do any planning, basically, which I found astonishing, really. But do you think that? No, I do. No,
I was laughing at something else.
I find it astonishing, but...
No, you can't plan for anything unless you have control of the situation. You don't have control of the situation. If you have players out of contract, how can you say we're going to get X amount for that player over there and that will help generate funds and offset PSR if we're letting them walk out the door for nothing? Money is now, you have to, every single player you buy now, it's like, oh yeah, it's get some money for him. It's like, we bought him to play footy, yeah, but he can generate money if we decide to sell him. And then you get people like advocating for people to leave for free. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to be under contract, whether you want them or don't want them. That's why we're saying that's why I don't see Beto getting past this season. I don't see Everton allowing him to go in his last year, but I also don't see Everton giving him a new contract. And that was the thing with, what's his name that you told me before? Liverpool player that's gone to Brien. What's his name? Luis Diaz.
Oh, Diaz, yeah.
Luis Diaz was going into his last year of his contract. And Liverpool were not going to give him a contract because of his age and because they don't value him the same way they value Salah and Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So they were always going to sell him because they did. I was listening to Liverpool fans going, we're not giving him a new contract.
Yeah.
So we have to sell him. Yeah. So from Liverpool, they'll just go, that's good business. That's fine.
We got
and I think that'll happen with Beto. We can't be giving Beto a new contract. He's 28 in January, I think. The manager doesn't particularly think he's any good. We're not giving him a new contract, so we're going to have to sell him.
Yeah,
so
no,
you can't have it both. You can't have it both ways, can you? You can't. You have to make a decision when people going into it, and I think that's what they'll do, and that's good. That's what we want.
Benjamin says, all right, lads, that was hilarious yesterday. God only knows what subjects will be brought up today. Keep up the good work. Gonna have a little drink today, so dare I say, bottoms up. He's done a winky face.
Don't be playing chess.
In joke. Tom says, afternoon, gents. Yesterday's Premier Live was something special.
It was something special.
Yeah.
Something to behold.
Mad. It did get wild. It was
something to behold.
Harry says, anyone up for some chess? Nick says, hi, lads, I'm wondering if you've seen or heard of the striker Fisnik Aslani. 23, 6'2", can play as a 10 or 9. Plays for Hoffenheim, done Kosovian player. Yeah. He's had a good start, hasn't he? So 4 and 6. 22, is he? 23, 24, something like that. Yeah, he's had a good start. He's a good start. They're all players that we should be looking at. Francolino, I love Jonathan Burkhardt, I think. I think he'd have scored goals for Everton. I think he's a good penalty box striker. But yeah, listen, there's players there. I don't know if Everton will make a move for a striker in January. Who knows? But if the other two aren't performing, then the manager will have to address it, won't he? He'll have to look at it because you've got to be getting something off your centre forwards. They're the lads who are the difference makers, aren't they? And if Beto is missing chances like he's missed today for Burkina Faso, or if Barry's not on it, then the manager's going to have to make a decision, because we can't always expect Iliman and Jai to pull us out of it, and we need them to hit the ground running. We need them to come back from this international break scoring goals. The pair of them. It's why, again, I'll say it, I'll probably just keep saying it every day, I would bring in a specialised striker coach, even if it's short term, just to try and squeeze a bit more. Short Tim. He's cracker. Have you not seen him?
No. I must have missed him.
He does a bit on
not on my eyeline.
Shooting on Instagram, he does a bit. A short Tim.
Hello, short Tim.
Mike Raff says, when's the 1878 out? Please, lads.
Be later.
5:30.
James is smashing it. James
3 on Premier.
James has got a special rendezvous today.
Premier.
James has got a special mission that he needs to leave for in 45 minutes, so he's smashing it right now. He's already done it. So that's how good he is.
Mike Raff on Premier. Mark Mack says, you think it's mad so many other clubs' fans want Dyche. So far I've heard Rangers fans who want him, Leeds and Forest fans. Did nobody watch us last season? I don't know, mate. I personally wouldn't have him, but if those clubs think he can do a job, then good luck to them. Mark also says Mykolenko should be a centre-back at some point. John says Mykolenko's a very good left-back defensively. He's okay going forward, but he's suffered from Dyche, but deserves his place in the team.
Can I just clarify? Dave Tubbs is not signing. We've gone past Dave Tubbs now. Yeah. We looked at him. He just didn't have what we needed, and we've gone past him.
It's a pity, really.
Gone past him now.
There was a time we probably...
There was talk that if we signed him, McNeil might leave. But that just came and went. He was in the... But apparently, he'd already taken the photos, apparently, at Finch Farm.
In the Titanic for a bit.
Yeah. But it's come and gone now. The Tubbs revolution is not to be.
Mark Mack says, when's the next Daily Book Plug live? Cullen also says, did James visit Hitler's nan yesterday after the show? Andrew Ryan says,
was this more Hitler?
Garner is our best midfielder. He was chasing shadows on Sunday. He did. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, all opinions are valid. He even let an attack go right through our midfield because he had his back to the ball talking to O'Brien. He was our best midfielder under Dyche because he was good in a low block. But the team, his pass accuracy is so high because he passes it backwards. Fair play, Andrew. Fair play. Each to their own. I've just seen 2 comments saying James Garner needs to be binned because he doesn't pass the ball forward. Maybe it's a midfield thing. I don't know. Derek says, we sometimes forget how far we've come since the dark days. We're now in a situation where 3 good signings will transform the team. I know it's a silly comment, but can you imagine this team with Coleman, Baines and Lukaku in it when they were
Why would you do that to us? Why would you do that to us? Why would you make us think those thoughts?
Why would you do it, Derek?
Why would you make us think those... I don't want to think those thoughts. Jesus.
I mean, he's right.
Now I'm just depressed.
Imagine if we did have those players.
Now I'm just depressed.
Imagine if we did have those players.
Remember when we had those players and because of the manager we still weren't good? Remember that?
We were 11th with those
Remember all those players that we had, imagine we still had that player and that player and that player. And then you look at the table and gone, what? Stoke beat us at home? What?
Penalty, though.
He scored 4 against us.
That was in another one, yeah. The 4-3.
They beat us 4-3.
Ron was unbelievable.
Ron was just like unbelievable, and they turn around and go, what the f...
That's because John Stones was giving penalties away in the last minute.
What are you all doing?
Anyway. What a squad that was. Well, sorry, not a squad, but what a team that was. And it finished 11th twice.
John Stones, Ross Barkley,
Delafay, Barry,
God,
Coleman, Baines, Jagielka, Reichy. But this is why we deserve good things, man. Because we've had to go through bad things. Graham Lloyd says trying to block out yesterday's live.
Embrace it, I say.
Yeah.
Find yesterday's live and go to it and go.
BH13 says, I'd love Dyche to go to Leeds.
Oh, I'd love him to go to Rangers.
And Royal Blue Rich says, I think Tubbsy's done his ACL. That's why they moved.
You know, he's done his meniscus.
Is it meniscus?
Yeah, it's done his meniscus, yeah.
Okay. It's not as bad.
No,
then.
It's not as bad. No.
Not as bad. Ewan says, walk past Baines in town before. Such a cool fella.
What did you walk past him for?
Did he have his guitar with him?
That's when you stop and bow down to him. Like the god he is. That's on you. That's on you. You made that choice in life.
James Graham said Tubbsy and Jan nailed on. Only if his meniscus is recovered.
Mate, the deal's done, mate.
He said, can't believe we let Tubbsy pass us by just like Haaland.
It's done, mate. There'll be someone in a few years, right, will get done by HMRC for talking about Tubbsy.
Yeah.
They'll be like, come to the stage. You said you played with Tubbsy, and it did not happen. You've never played with Tubbsy in your life.
You've got to give the, yeah, right. And they're saying, me and Tubbsy tore it up that day. He'd be like,
I had Tubbsy in the building. Yeah, we just couldn't get it over the line. Come to the stage, Mr. Dyche.
you did not have Tubbsy.
You did not have Tubbsy.
Annabelle, no, you don't have to issue any public apology. Why would you? There's
no apologies to be heard, to be needed. I think we set the tone for everything yesterday in that 1 o'clock show. I think anything that followed.
And go, whoa. HMRC here, Ped Capping. Come to the stage.
No, I know. I started the conversation. I know I made the joke or relayed the joke that the guy sold about that thing. But it wasn't me who threw the real story in, was it?
It was him.
Mine was a joke that someone made. It's that guy, Josh Dingo, who's a little bit blind. He does those stories online. He's a little bit blind, by the way. It's not a thing.
No.
I didn't want you to, cancel me.
No, I'm not going to.
He's done this. He's technically blind, isn't he? He was a good footballer. He played for Anyway. And he does these jokes at the gaffer. Anyway, and he done the gap with the batteries. And then James was like, that really happened in chess.
Who said that really happened? That there was a gaffer who done it? I said that was a chess
But he
scandal.
did say it really happened, didn't he?
Put forward a good idea for us to make £1 million.
No, I'm
making money moves behind the desk.
James' money motivated.
Again, we are not going to go into it too much, but James hasn't learned any lessons from Slumdog Millionaire. That's all we're going to say.
James Gray for tapping up Tubbsy.
Yeah.
He'll be getting capped for tapping up Tubbsy.
So James is what brought that situation into the real life, and it just ran away with itself.
As sometimes Prem-only lives can. With the Premier community.
So anything that followed on in the phone-in is just a byproduct of what got said on the Prem-only.
Tom S., this is just for James, says, will a tier list be coming back?
I did say tier list Thursday.
There was supposed to be a tier list tonight, but we can't do it.
So
James,
next week, Tom, back
James has got he's got to rendezvous with Charlotte for a special event.
At a destination.
Yeah, destination. And it ain't the Trafford Centre.
No, I don't know about this, but fair play. And Mark Mack says Everton did a last minute winner video yesterday. Most of the goals were scored under David Moyes in the first spell. The mentality we had in that first spell at Goodison, always knew there was going to be the chance to win it. And that is huge because that had disappeared from us.
We went into so many half times, 1-0 down, and then second half just blitzed.
But you knew, even when it was tight, you'd think we'll have a go at this. This was one of my criticisms under other managers. We'd be behind and you'd know it was just going to peter out. I remember first highlighted this in the last regime in that Luton game at home in the league when we were 2-1 down. You know, Dom got us a goal back. We were back in it
2-1
for so long in that game. Yeah. And the last 25 minutes, half an hour was easy for them. And under Moyes, we'd have won that 4-2. We'd have battered them into submission. And on Sunday, was the first sort of moment we've had a Hill Dickinson where you felt like that winner was coming and it was building and Palace could feel it as their players have attested to after it.
Emma,
could feel it.
I'm not sure why I owe you an apology.
Has Emma gone for the apology?
I'm not sure I owe you an apology. This is a game of, game of tennis, back and forth. It's just about you hitting the ball back across the net. It's not my fault. I've just aced you. That's just the way it is, isn't it? You've got to knock that back. You've got to knock it back. And I've got no... Game of paddle. And it's not that easy. It's not that hard to beat me in paddle, as that video showed last week. So it's up to you to find a winner across the net. Don't blame me for being a stone cold paddle player against you. You've got to bring it back. Apologies. I would never ask you for an apology if you were as witty as I was and could say something funny. So it's up to you to hit that ball back. Go and see Danny. See if something you can work it out between you, how you can get to me. But let's see just hit it back.
I think what he's saying, Emma, is don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly. That's what he's saying. We have this little game of tennis, me and you.
Taking a loss against though when you timed it out.
She said something. She said something. She went too far. She got.
I remember.
She went too far on that.
She probably won the point that day.
No, she didn't. She went too far.
He didn't have the strap round his wrist that day, so the point didn't
No,
count.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. How many games did we lose in that thing? And they shouldn't have been played, should they? Because we
didn't have the correct. We had the correct equipment, but we didn't have it attached properly.
Yeah.
So it was a technical
Can't have football
defeat.
boots on your hands.
It was a technical defeat, really.
And also, we were also serving from the wrong place, and all kinds of people were telling us the wrong rules.
The problem is when you're allowing the opposition to tell you the rules as you go, then it leaves things open to interpretation.
It's an issue.
When people are serving things out, but then walking to the other side like it was in, you're not really going to turn around and go, well, that went out, because
just because you once played for Liverpool women doesn't give you the right to rewrite the rules. That's all I'm saying.
And I did feel awkward saying, you just hit that straight out. Because it hit the grill on the fence, which everyone knows isn't real.
Exactly.
But
and it was like, oh, no, we won that. But no, you didn't.
Well, we didn't say that. We just
we didn't. We were just nice. We were like...
Okay. No, I disagree, Matthew. Ferenczi, pickleball is better than paddle.
I've never played pickleball, so I can't make that judgment, but each to their own.
I've watched a bit of it. They're both good. I've watched it. I just don't really like it. What?
Fastest growing sport in America?
It is.
I don't know if it is or not, but everything's always the fastest growing sport, isn't it?
It is. But I'd prefer paddle.
Emma, I have only ever timed you out once, and that's because you were despicable.
Was she?
Yeah, she was despicable. She went too far.
Okay.
Even for Emma, she went too far.
I know I wasn't on. I wasn't in, I don't think. But I don't understand what she would have said.
She went too far.
Too
far. She went too far.
Okay. That's fair play. That is fair play.
She went to a place that people shouldn't go to. Not Bootle, by the way.
The canal. Annabelle, I don't know why you're nervous when you call in.
Oh yeah,
it's so
calm. Nervous.
You calm everyone else. So I don't know.
I know, Annabelle. We turned up to that paddle thing, knowing that we were going to get battered by everybody, and yet decided to put it all on camera. So who was the real heroes of the day? Who's the real heroes of the day?
We had to go and do it like that. We had to front it up. It was for charity.
Yeah.
I told you, when I got out the car and I seen people stretching with their own paddle equipment, I thought we might be in for a tough time. I'll be honest.
Yeah. When you turned up wearing your pink pants,
I didn't go for that one, did I? That was when I turned up, having just painted the loft, to do a football special against Ned and Cam, who told us they were going to school us, and then we just took the piss out of them. Because football ability never leaves, really.
Imagine those two been into school, anyone at anything.
And Ned trying to control a football on a touchline with the outside of his foot when he can barely kick the ball was incredible. And I was having to show him how you actually receive a football.
The only thing Ned's good at, he brings that guitar we all aware of.
Yeah, it's good.
Forehead drawing. Amazing, Harry. You seen it last week?
I don't actually know, though, if he's good at it, because the font was too small.
Okay.
He had a lot more room to play with, didn't he?
Doopy-doopy-doo.
Fast Eddie says Barry is our new Chimity.
Feels harsh.
But each to their own again. I've said before, and I'll say it again. It's actually the case of each to their own, isn't it? Everyone sees it differently. And Ned sees life differently. But he's happy. He's happy in his house, to be fair.
He's gone full.
The boy's done well.
Yeah. If you want an update on Ned, he's gone. Unfortunately, he's gone full wool. He's embraced.
And that's okay for him.
Okay. So I was just checking me now. He's gone full wool. He doesn't go to the match anymore. He goes to watch. Oddly, I mean, I don't know this too well. I do know it because I know they've just sacked the manager, St. Helens. But St. Helens have just gone really, really bad. The more Ned started to watch them.
And Everton have started to improve.
Whoa.
So they just literally just come up on me phone that they've sacked the manager.
That's literally just come to me. That can't be a coincidence.
There you go.
That can't be a coincidence, surely.
We saw Everton score goals in America.
And Ned wasn't there?
Ned wasn't there.
Oh my God.
It's starting to sort itself out now.
This is all starting to
sort itself out.
Ned stopped going in January to watch Everton.
Yeah. he stopped going. But he's bought a house.
Remember when Ned started? Sorry,
go on, keep going.
Ned started in 2020, and then a pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And then Everton had their worst ever run in the history. And Ned's, why have we not put?
Also, do you want to know?
Why have we not put this together before?
Yeah.
So it's your two faults for employing him.
I don't think we actually.
He's a great kid, though.
We didn't employ him. He just came and wouldn't go.
And never went. He was a great kid. But for Everton, from an Everton perspective, fault.
He's bought a house. He's been doing it up.
That he has done.
He's been going to Nando's where he gets 3 meals between the two of them. Worrying.
Nice, fine.
And
got a big appetite, the kid.
Certainly has. Loads of place to put it now. And he's a good lad. He's just gone. Well, he's just gone full. He's embracing his. We were trying to pull him away from there. We were trying to get him to buy a house a little bit closer to the city centre. He's embracing his roots, and you can't have a go at someone for embracing the roots. You've just got to stand back and say, "You do you." He's achieved his thing now, hasn't he? Because his goal was to have a house and stuff. That was his goal, and he's got that. He works. You know, he's got a new job. He's got his partner. Drives cars for a living. He's got his partner. And he's enjoying himself. Don't know where Cam is. No, I have no idea where Cam is. Cam's just disappeared off the planet. Literally, hasn't he? Don't see anything of Cam. Spoke to him about 3 weeks ago, just out the blue. But I think he's another one. He's just doing. He's got his partner and family life, and he's got his new job. Hasn't he? He's got a new job as well. So has he got a new job? Yeah. So I think they're just bobbing along, aren't they? Just bobbing along. Right, like, subscribe, do all that. If you're a premium member, we'll see you after, won't we, obviously? So take it easy. You won't see Hammers, though. No, he's on a rendezvous. He's gone a rendezvous. A hot rendezvous. A Rom Lukaku view. I don't know if that's... Bye! See ya.